Allen Iverson is one of the most iconic figures in NBA history, known for his electrifying play, unforgettable moments, and his larger-than-life personality. Standing at just 6 feet tall and weighing a mere 170 pounds, Iverson defied the odds and redefined what it meant to be a superstar in professional basketball. His story is not just one of athletic success, but also of cultural revolution, as he changed the way athletes carried themselves, influenced fashion trends, and brought an unrelenting toughness to the point guard position. The answer wasn't just the shortest and lightest MVP in NBA history. He was a cultural icon who inspired countless fans, athletes, and future generations of basketball players. But beyond his iconic crossover and scoring ability, Iverson's story is a tale of overcoming adversity, dealing with personal and professional struggles, and ultimately achieving basketball immortality despite being surrounded by a team that was arguably the worst defensive unit in NBA history. In this extended look at Iverson's prime years, we will examine how the Philadelphia 76ers were on the verge of irrelevance before his arrival, how his individual brilliance carried them to the NBA Finals in 2001, and why his legacy endures, even though his career was filled with both triumph and controversy. The beginnings of Allen Iverson's journey. The Philadelphia 76ers were a shadow of their former selves when Allen Iverson entered the NBA in 1996. Since the trade of Charles Barkley to Phoenix in 1992, the team had struggled to maintain any semblance of success. By the time the 1996 draft rolled around, the Sixers were among the worst teams in the league, coming off a dismal 18-win season. In a stroke of fortune, Philadelphia won the 1996 NBA draft lottery and landed the #1 overall pick. The 1996 draft class was perhaps the greatest in NBA history, producing 10 All-Stars and 5 Hall of Famers, but the choice for the Sixers was an easy one: Allen Iverson, a dynamic and electric guard out of Georgetown University. Despite concerns about his size, Iverson was the smallest player ever selected #1 overall at the time, and questions about his character and commitment. The Sixers didn't hesitate. From the moment he stepped onto an NBA court, it was clear that Iverson was special. As a rookie, he was the fastest player the league had ever seen, with a combination of speed, agility, and ball handling that few could match. He had a way of changing directions on a dime, and his ability to penetrate defenses was unmatched. At just 155 pounds, he was small by NBA standards, but his long wingspan and wiry strength made him a nightmare for opponents. Iverson's debut was nothing short of spectacular. He scored 30 points in his first game, one of the highest scoring debuts in NBA history. Throughout his rookie season, Iverson was electric, averaging 23.5 points and 7.5 assists per game, and showcasing his ability to take over games. His shooting efficiency wasn't great. He shot just 41% from the field, but he made up for it with his relentless scoring and ability to get to the free throw line. He broke Wilt Chamberlain's rookie record by scoring 40 or more points in 5 consecutive games, a feat few could have predicted. But it wasn't just Iverson's scoring that stood out, it was his competitive spirit and fearlessness. He took on the challenge of defending the league's top players, and one of his most memorable performances came against his idol, Michael Jordan, in his rookie season. Iverson scored 37 points in a victory over the Chicago Bulls, completely outplaying Jordan, who finished with just 24 points on 9 of 24 shooting. It was a sign of things to come. Iverson was a bona fide star. The struggles and the clash with Larry Brown. Despite Iverson's individual brilliance, the Sixers were still struggling as a team. In the years following his arrival, the franchise remained near the bottom of the standings, and changes had to be made. In 1997, the Sixers fired coach Johnny Davis and replaced him with Larry Brown, a veteran coach known for his defensive schemes and strict discipline. Brown was a fundamentally sound coach who believed in structure, hard work, and commitment. This, however, was not a good fit for Iverson at the time. Iverson was notoriously difficult to coach, often clashing with Brown's authoritative style. He was known for showing up late to practices, skipping shootarounds, and doing the bare minimum to prepare for games. In one infamous press conference, Iverson declared, "We're talking about practice," in response to questions about his commitment. The tension between Brown and Iverson reached a boiling point, as Iverson's lack of discipline and dedication was causing friction within the team. Despite the tension, Iverson's game continued to evolve. In his second season, he led the league in scoring with 26.8 points per game, but his decision-making remained an issue. Iverson was shooting at a high volume, leading the league in field goal attempts, but his shooting efficiency was still below average, and his turnovers remained a problem. He also had a high usage rate, which meant that the offense still revolved around him almost exclusively. In the 1999-2000 season, the Sixers made some progress, but they once again fell short in the playoffs, losing in the second round to the Indiana Pacers. Iverson was continuing to be a fan favorite and was beginning to gain national attention, but his struggles with consistency and discipline continued to hinder his development. The breaking point came in the 2000 offseason when Iverson was nearly traded to the Detroit Pistons in a massive 4-team trade. However, the deal fell apart due to financial complications, and this near trade shook Iverson to his core. He realized that he was not above the team and that if he didn't change his behavior, he could be gone in an instant. The turning point, Iverson's transformation. Following the failed trade, Iverson had a wake-up call. He realized that if he wanted to reach his full potential and help the Sixers become a true contender, he needed to become a better teammate and leader. Iverson publicly apologized to Larry Brown and promised to change his ways. He showed up early to training camp, put in the work, and earned Brown's trust. Iverson no longer skipped practices or shoot-arounds, and his approach to the game became more mature. This transformation paid off immediately. In the 2000-2001 season, Iverson was a new player. He added muscle to his frame, gaining 17 pounds of muscle to bring his weight to 172 pounds. He became more of a distributor, improving his assist numbers. And his defensive play also took a step forward. The Sixers were a much-improved team, and Iverson led them to a franchise record 10-game win streak to start the season. Iverson's newfound commitment helped him to win the MVP award that season, as he averaged 31.1 points, 4.6 assists, and 2.5 steals per game. His scoring ability was unmatched, and he was the undeniable leader of the team. The Sixers also added defensive stalwart Dikembe Mutombo in a trade, bolstering their defense and giving them a strong interior presence. The 2001 playoffs, Iverson's heroics, with Iverson playing at an MVP level, the Sixers entered the 2001 playoffs as the top seed in the Eastern Conference. In the first round, they faced the Indiana Pacers, and Iverson led them to a convincing series win. But it was in the next round against Vince Carter and the Toronto Raptors where Iverson truly solidified his legacy. The Sixers and Raptors engaged in a thrilling series that saw both Iverson and Carter go off for multiple 40-point games. In Game 1, Iverson exploded for 48 points, leading the Sixers to an overtime victory. He followed that up with another 54-point performance in Game 2, but Carter responded with 50 points of his own. The series was back and forth, and in Game 7, Iverson put up 26 points and 11 assists to send the Sixers to the Eastern Conference Finals. There, Iverson and the Sixers faced a tough Milwaukee Bucks team led by Ray Allen, Sam Cassell, and Glenn Robinson. The series was intense, and after Game 2, it appeared the Sixers were finished. Iverson had injured his hip, and many believed the Bucks would finish off the series in Game 3. But Iverson, ever the warrior, played through the pain and helped lead the Sixers to a thrilling Game 7 victory, advancing to the NBA Finals for the first time in 18 years. The 2001 NBA Finals, Iverson vs. the Lakers. The 2001 NBA Finals pitted the Sixers against the Los Angeles Lakers, who were led by Shaquille O'Neal and Kobe Bryant. The Lakers were undefeated in the playoffs, and they appeared unstoppable. But Iverson had other ideas. In Game 1, Iverson was simply spectacular. He scored 48 points, carrying the Sixers to a 107-101 win over the Lakers. His performance was iconic, capped off by his legendary step-over of Tyronn Lue after hitting a clutch jumper. It was a moment that would be etched in NBA history forever, symbolizing Iverson's toughness and skill in the face of adversity. However, the Lakers proved too strong, winning the next 4 games to take the championship. Despite the loss, Iverson's performance in the finals was nothing short of heroic. He had single-handedly carried the Sixers to the championship stage, a team with little offensive help outside of him. Legacy, more than just stats. Iverson's career after 2001 was marked by injuries, trades, and occasional off-court controversies, but his impact on the game never faded. His combination of heart, skill, and fearlessness made him one of the most beloved and respected players in NBA history. Though he never won an NBA title, Iverson's influence on the game and the culture of basketball is undeniable. His iconic crossover, his toughness, his bravado, and his ability to score from anywhere on the floor made him a terror for opposing defenses. More than just a player, Iverson became an icon for a generation, inspiring players like Kobe Bryant, Dwayne Wade, and Russell Westbrook to play with a similar competitive fire. Allen Iverson may have been small in stature, but his impact on the game of basketball is immeasurable. His legacy will continue to inspire players, fans, and anyone who's ever had to overcome the odds. Iverson was more than just a player, he was the voice of an era, the heart of a city, and a symbol of basketball's limitless possibilities.